Well, listen, if you don't have anything to say, you blab. You just go on and 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 on.
Voters do not agree with these despicable women on The View. They are wildly out of touch with the vast majority of Americans, and frankly, they should seek immediate help.
Here's the reality. When someone has nothing meaningful to contribute, they just ramble. It becomes an endless stream of empty words. Voters don't support the women on The View because they're completely disconnected from everyday Americans. 4 years, Whoopi Goldberg ruled that table like royalty, cutting off guests, bulldozing opposing views, and presenting her opinions as unquestionable facts. But in one shocking moment, that control completely unraveled, and no one saw it coming. The episode started like any other. Smug laughs, eye rolls, and a panel nodding in perfect sync with the show's left-leaning agenda.
She's probably been put in there because, according to Donald Trump, she's a 10. You know that's what it is.
I want to be clear, though. It's not her first job. It was her first press briefing. She worked in the previous Trump administration.
Whoopi, as confident as ever, leaned back, ready to dominate another conversation. Then the topic of wokeness came up, a concept The View practically worships. Feeling untouchable, Whoopi took the first shot. With her trademark smirk, she pointed at Karoline and said, "Without wokeness, you wouldn't even have this job." Instantly the room changed. The audience tensed up. Even Joy Behar, who built a career mocking conservatives, shifted uncomfortably in her seat.
I'm going to stop this interview if you continue to attack my colleagues. I would like to talk about Joe Biden and Donald Trump, who you work for.
I am stating facts that your colleagues have stated in the past.
Okay,
now, as
I'm
for
sorry,
this
guys.
debate,
We're going to come back out to the panel. Karoline, thank you very much for your time.
That was so good.
What Whoopi said next was completely predictable, and honestly irritating. After all these years on television, you'd think she'd bring something fresh to the table. But no. Same routine, same talking points. Let's see what she had this time.
In a statement afterwards, this young lady claimed her, quote, on-air snub proves that you-know-who will not be treated fairly in the upcoming debate. Now, do you think this is going to make people doubt whether CNN can stay objective, or is this more the same of, everybody's against me, it's all rigged, I tell you. Is everything rigged?
No, it's their MO. That's what they do. Rachel Maddow said last week, she's like, if the election is lost, it was rigged. If there's a debate, then the moderators are probably biased and they're prejudiced against me.
The tension was thick. Whoopi wasn't ready for what came next. This wasn't playful banter. It was a direct attack on Karoline's intelligence, career, and work ethic. Whoopi dismissed everything Karoline had achieved as nothing more than a byproduct of an ideology she opposed. It was condescending and meant to belittle. The audience clapped on autopilot, but the unease was obvious. Karoline didn't flinch. She smiled, calm, controlled, and confident. A smile that said, "You just made a mistake." Then she responded with cold, undeniable facts. Government spending reports. Taxpayer money poured into absurd woke programs, gender studies in Guatemala, international Sesame Street projects promoting American activism, and more. She exposed how wokeness had shifted from a social movement into a political weapon. And suddenly Whoopi wasn't laughing.
Divisive and disgusting speech that any president, certainly in my lifetime, has ever given. He essentially waged war on half of the country by saying that we are all a threat to democracy because we believe in putting America first. It's not radical to want to put your country and your own people first. It's not radical to want to have a strong border, a strong military, and to unleash the might of your own economy, not economies around the world.
Karoline was incredibly articulate. It was baffling to watch The View mock her instead of supporting another woman. It revealed far more about their agenda than hers. And it was clear she wasn't finished yet.
You know, we have seen cultural Marxism trickling its way through every institution in this country. The public school system, the higher education university system, Hollywood, big tech, the corrupt mainstream media that I fought against in President Trump's White House are indoctrinating my generation of Americans into hating our country, hating one another based on race and gender and all of this other BS, quite frankly.
The woman who built her career-dominating conversations was now on the defensive. Whoopi shifted in her chair, her smirk gone. She opened her mouth, then closed it. Nothing came out. The audience sat in stunned silence. No cheers. No laughter. Even the camera crew hesitated. For the first time in years, Whoopi Goldberg had trapped herself. Karoline had exposed a simple question. If wokeness is about inclusion, why are conservative women attacked the hardest? Whoopi had no answer. Joy Behar tried to crack a nervous joke, but it was too late. The damage was done. Whoopi had unraveled, live on television.
Well, listen. If you don't have anything to say, you blab. You just go on and 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 on. Right. That's what you hear. Yeah. When they don't have anything to hold you with, nothing to make you think about what they have to say.
It was uncomfortable to watch. Whoopi's arguments felt childish and dismissive, especially when faced with facts she couldn't rebut. It makes you wonder how someone so lacking in substance still holds such influence. Maybe it's habit. Maybe it's legacy. But at this point, it's baffling she hasn't been replaced by someone capable of real discussion.
They talk at you, not to you, and that's what she was doing, and she was doing it, and it's not new.
No.
But everybody's hip to you all now.
Yeah.
And we are anticipating that you are not prepared. Because you keep saying you going and you preparing when you're on the trail.
Then the internet exploded. Memes, reaction clips, non-stop commentary. But this wasn't Whoopi's first controversy. Over the years, she's turned The View into a lawsuit factory. From offensive Holocaust remarks to defending questionable figures, scandals followed her everywhere. The breaking point came with defamation lawsuits. First Carrie Underwood, then Elon Musk, and now Karoline Leavitt. When Carrie performed at Trump's second inauguration, Whoopi and the panel attacked her relentlessly, claiming she ruined her career. Carrie didn't respond with a tweet. She filed a billion-dollar defamation lawsuit. And when the case reached court, something explosive came out.
That you saw live on this program yesterday. Joy Behar stirring the pot of controversy after saying this about Karoline.
She's probably been put in there because, according to Donald Trump, she's a 10. You know that's what it is.
Do you want to take this?
No, you cannot be attractive and smart. I will try to give Joy the benefit, and oh, thank you. I try to give Joy the benefit of the doubt that she didn't see that briefing. Because if you saw that yesterday on numerous topics, no big binder, I think she might have had a different impression of this young woman who held her own.
Watching someone stand their ground with facts instead of scripted talking points felt refreshing. It was satisfying to see the usual voices finally unravel.
I mean, you would have to give her the benefit of the doubt that she did absolutely no research or reading about anything dealing with Karoline Leavitt before she made that remark. Because Karoline Leavitt she went to St. Anselm College. She worked for WMUR
Ran for Congress?
In New Hampshire. She ran for Congress at the age of 25, put out a very good campaign.
Karoline's credentials spoke for themselves. Meanwhile, Whoopi's recent contributions were harder to define. Once a respected actress, her role on The View now seemed more about controversy than substance. Her seat felt earned by tenure, not value.
She lost by 8 or 9 points, but she still put on a good campaign. Then she was the press secretary for the Trump campaign, going on TV literally every day.
Well, heavily pregnant and a new mom.
Pregnant. Yeah, she's a new mother. And then she goes out yesterday and gives an... And this, again, this is speaking very objectively, because I've watched every press secretary since going back to Marlon Fitzwater. Yeah, I'm that old. And she went out there for her very first briefing at the age of 27 years old, the youngest press secretary ever, and did a terrific job.
Leaked emails revealed ABC had orchestrated the attack on Carrie Underwood for ratings. It wasn't accidental, it was deliberate. The network settled quietly. Then came Elon Musk. After months of false claims about Twitter, Musk sued. Advertisers began pulling out. Lawsuits piled up. The once unstoppable show started collapsing. ABC was in full panic mode. The View was no longer an asset. It was a liability.
Yeah. I would like this young lady this is her first job, I would like her to do a little homework. Because she said something yesterday that really pissed me off. And that was, she said, there will be no wokeness here. Oh, yeah. Let me explain something to you. Because without that wokeness, you might not have that job.
Yeah.
Because women were not invited to that table. Women were not invited to many tables in this nation.
Whoopi kept talking in circles. Karoline stood firm. The contrast couldn't have been clearer.
The reason we fought and busted our behinds to make sure that you didn't have to worry about this. And now to hear you talk about it and to hear anybody talk about the wokeness was put in place for a reason. Because black people couldn't get into colleges. Because women could not get into the colleges they wanted to go to. This is all women. Yeah. See, this is not black, Asian, this is all women. Women were not invited to this party. It was a man's world, and we busted our...
Whoopi Goldberg's time on The View came to an abrupt end. ABC tried to frame it as a break, but the truth was obvious. Advertisers were gone. Trust was broken. And her showdown with Karoline had exposed everything. Now the show faces a crossroads. Continue the same path, or finally change direction? Is this the beginning of the end? Drop your thoughts in the comments.